All right, let's get into it. Today, we are diving headfirst into one of the wildest, most unbelievable love stories you'll probably ever hear. Seriously. It's this whole tangled web of chance encounters, huge misunderstandings, and it all starts with a single scarf. So let's untangle this thing together. Just imagine this for a second. What if you met someone and felt this instant, crazy connection, like an invisible thread, as our character calls it, only to find out they're about to get married in 3 days? I mean, what do you even do? That's the heart-pounding central problem of this whole story.
So, to make sense of all this chaos, we're going to follow this wild 3-day timeline. It all kicks off with this fateful encounter, builds to a completely impossible choice on the wedding day, and then it ends with a final twist you are just not going to see coming. Okay, let's dive in.
Our story begins, of all places, in a department store. A totally random, kind of ridiculous fight over a scarf is the unlikely spark that sets our two main characters, Tanya and Alex, on an absolute collision course with each other.
So, the setup is pretty simple. Tanya sees the perfect scarf. She's got to have it. But right as she's about to grab it, another woman, Alice, snatches it away. An argument starts, and this guy, Alex, steps in and says, "Hey, that's a gift from my fiancé," who, of course, is Alice. For Tanya, it's just the cherry on top of an already terrible day.
The whole thing just escalates to this absurd level, with Alice actually yelling for security. But here's the thing. This crazy moment is what leads to their first real conversation. Alex, seeing how upset Tanya is, apologizes for the whole mess and smooths things over with the guard.
And in this really nice gesture, Tanya tells Alex to just take the scarf for his fiancé anyway. It's in that moment that she feels it, like they were bound by some invisible thread. It's this immediate, super powerful connection, which naturally is followed by a massive bombshell.
Yep, you heard that right. Alex reveals his wedding to Alice is just 3 days away. He even has the nerve to invite Tanya. So the one good thing that's happened to her all day turns out to be a guy who is completely, totally unavailable. The stakes are officially set.
And it's really important to get the full picture here. While Alex is all tied up with Alice and her wedding plans, Tanya is dealing with her own fresh heartbreak. See, she just broke up with her boyfriend Henry because she caught him cheating. So both of our main characters are entangled, but in very, very different ways.
Okay, if you thought it was complicated already, just you wait. Because this is where a series of seemingly random coincidences starts to weave this incredible web of misunderstanding that just turns everything upside down.
So, fate, or maybe just dumb luck, brings them together again, this time over ice cream. And as Tanya's feeling that connection grow even stronger, Alex drops another piece of shocking news about his engagement.
See, from Alex's perspective, the situation is crystal clear. Alice was furious that he was seen talking to Tanya at the mall, and she called the whole wedding off. So as far as he's concerned, he's a free man. The problem is, he doesn't exactly spell this out.
And this is the critical misunderstanding. Tanya is seeing everything through the lens of her own messy breakup with Henry. She just assumes Alex is heartbroken, so she projects all her own feelings onto him and actually encourages him to go back and fix things with Alice because she doesn't want him to make a mistake. She has no clue he thinks the wedding is already toast.
So, in an attempt to just move on and distract herself, Tanya gets a new job as a waitress. And the irony here is just, wow. The cafe that hires her is the exact same venue that Alex and Alice picked for their wedding reception. She has literally walked right into the center of the storm.
And that brings us to the wedding day itself, the absolute climax of our 3-day countdown. Every single misunderstanding, every coincidence, every unspoken feeling, it's all about to collide in the most public and dramatic way you can imagine.
So let's just paint this picture, okay? Alex shows up at the cafe, probably thinking he's just there to talk things out with Alice, and walks into a full-blown wedding ceremony. Alice is there, ready to say I do, and Tanya is there, working, forced to serve drinks, while watching the guy she feels this crazy connection with marry someone else. And then it comes, the moment of truth. The officiant asks the question. Alice has already said her I do. Everyone is watching. Tanya is in the background, just watching her heart sink. What is Alex gonna do?
He does it. He stops the wedding. Right there, in front of everyone, he tells Alice that she's wonderful, but he isn't the one for her. He can't go through with it.
He apologizes and just walks away, leaving total chaos behind and giving Tanya this tiny flickering sliver of hope. But if you think that's where the story ends, oh, you are mistaken. The universe is not quite done with these two yet. There is one final, almost comical twist involving an arrest and a resume before they can find any kind of peace.
I mean, you can't make this stuff up. Just when things couldn't possibly get any weirder, Alex goes back to the mall where it all started. And who does he run into? The exact same security guard from the scarf incident, who mistakes him for a shoplifter and gets him arrested on the spot.
And this is where it all comes together in this brilliant, improbable sequence of events. So Alex uses his one phone call to reach Tanya, but the call gets cut off. Desperate, Tanya remembers him mentioning he'd applied for a job somewhere that held special memories. She rushes back to the cafe and finds his resume, which he'd left behind. It's the final clue she needs to figure it all out.
So using that resume, Tanya figures out where Alex is. She finds him, and they finally reunite, free of fiancés, ex-boyfriends, and all the crazy misunderstandings. And the story lands on this idea that true love is kind of like a destiny you just can't run from.
You know, this really gets to the core of it all. When we're right in the middle of our own lives, things can feel like a total tangled mess of random, frustrating stuff. But looking back, like we just did with this story, sometimes you can see a clear, if winding, path that was leading you somewhere the whole time.
So I'll leave you with this question. Was this whole thing just a perfect storm of ridiculous coincidences, a one-in-a-billion comedy of errors? Or was there some invisible thread actually pulling these two people together all along? I'll let you be the judge. Thanks for joining me on this one.